A guten Rosh Chodesh Elul. I think so many of us have trouble with Elul. It seems like such a dark, dangerous time. Judgment, sitting before the Ribbon Shalom, evaluating our entire year, and it often comes along with a very negative connotation. We have to go back to something that I think we learned as children, but let's try to see it as adults. Let's see it in a new light. We know that Elul stands for many things, but amongst them is the pasuk in Shir Hashirim, Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am to my beloved and my beloved is to me. And I think we really need to take that message to heart. The message of Elul is not one of anger. The message of Elul is not one of fear in the sense that I am, going to be destroyed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But it's a loving message. This is my beloved. And I think as we begin to see Elul through the lens of the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is our beloved, it changes the tonality of the entire conversation. For example, when we think about judgment, what bothers us about judgment? So often what bothers us about judgment is that the person who's sitting in judgment doesn't really know us. Because if they would know us, how would they judge us? Imagine someone who knew your father, who knew your grandfather, knew your mother and knew your grandmother, knew your entire family history, knew every single moment of your life. And now they look at a misstep, an Aveira. How will they see that Aveira? Will they see that Aveira as you're an evil person, you're a bad person, you're a monster? Or will they see that through the lens of compassion? Of course they did that Aveira. Look how much they've struggled. Look how much they've gone through in their life. I think that when we're talking about Hashem, when we're talking about our beloved sitting in judgment, we need to understand that every single moment of our life has been seen by the Ribbon Shalom. And that type of judgment is not only angry, that type of judgment is beautiful. It's something that we should welcome, it's something that we should invite, it's something that we should look forward to. Because when somebody holds us, and they see all of our positives and all of our negatives, we feel a sense of innocence, we feel a sense of redemption. Things are possible in our lives again. They say a story about Rav Brisker, that Rav Brisker, when he was just a young boy, his father, the Beis HaLevi, tried to wake him up for davening in Elul. And he wanted to stay under the warm covers in the cold of Brisk. And so he didn't wake up. 10-15 minutes later, the Beis HaLevi came in and he started saying to Rav Chaim, wake up, don't you know that even the fish of the sea are tzittering, are shaking in Elul? And Rav Chaim replied in classical Brisker fashion, he said, perhaps if the fish had a blanket like me, they wouldn't be so cold. I think that there is something to be said for Emas Hadin, for being concerned about the judgment that lies ahead. Of course, anytime we reevaluate our standing in relationships, we're going to think about all the things that we haven't done properly. And there is a certain ema that comes along with that. But when the relationship is something beautiful, when the relationship is something beloved, then it's also an incredible opportunity to regain innocence, to reclaim the essence of the relationship. What can we do? We live in a dar where, unfortunately, we're so filled with shame, racked with guilt, that it's very hard for us to approach Elul in the beautiful way. It's hard for us to approach Elul in a way of reconnecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But I think that sort of gives us the opportunity for traction, good foot, bad foot, good foot, bad foot. Yes, we have some negatives in our Judaism, but this is the opportunity to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Dear alumni, what can I tell you? You are so missed in yeshiva. I think so fondly of our years in yeshiva. I think so much about the Eluls that we've had together, watching the guys come to yeshiva and struggle with the new beginnings, and then Rosh Hashanah, Aseret Yemei Tshuva, Yom Kippur. And they're amongst the fondest memories that I have, as I've seen all of you grow so tremendously and really grow so large in your lives, whether it's marriage, having children, all the different conversations that you have with your Rebbeim, not only when you're in Mevaseret, but beyond Mevaseret. But it all started with that original El. It all started with that journey towards authentic self, as Rav Isaacson would say. It's a journey towards being the best person that we can be, not striving for perfection, but striving for completion. Yiratzon that this Elul should be like all of those Eluls before us, those Eluls where we rechanneled our inner desires to come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is of course where we ultimately want to be.